This conference will now be recorded.
They're a big company.
The old days when they used to dictate to the secretary, they could shorthand it.
And like she said, it's on a kick, that's when she first started.
You know, we have a nice big backyard in each hotel.
Well, I'll tell you, I forget how old he is, but he's in good shape. He still does push-ups and.
Just don't bring a boat.
Wow.
That'll make him start on that kick again.
I'm taking him out, Eric, soon as here's for home.
You can take him out all you want, he ain't getting a boat.
He didn't partake in that at all.
He's got to quit one of his habits.
He only lives once.
That's.
Yeah, but meanwhile, he fishes, he hunts, he golfs, buys guns.
That's fine.
The Amazons.
I do all that with
myself.
both.
Desserts. I like desserts.
Sounds awesome. Yeah.
That's why he's retired and has a new career. Because he has expensive hobbies. I told him he could stay retired if he just quit some of the spending.
Screw that.
You got to retire early enough to be able to quit yourself.
Well, if I
What'd you
would.
say,
Like
Terry?
Eric.
What'd you say? Early enough to enjoy it?
It was 10-day.
To enjoy it.
Sailing.
Well, he retired at 39.
Don't be 70 years old and all broken up and then decide you're going to retire.
He's been broken up for years.
Quit looking into it. I haven't been to Nassau before. It's,
Been together
I mean, it was 30 years
19
ago.
I think he's
I was there. I mean, you wouldn't even know that place.
We got 10 more years.
Been released.
10.
Who?
Me.
10 more years?
We're trying to get through 10 more
You're
years.
52?
We got 3 of them.
49.
Anybody got
Oh.
Nelson's number?
59 and a half.
Yeah.
40.
My phone's in the truck.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We're short a person.
Somebody have it? No? You haven't, you
Dave's
haven't,
not here and Bobby's not here.
And we don't have a quorum.
Lauren,
You're
you're
like, hey, what
a
happened to
voting member, right?
Yes.
I think Nelson goes on vacation during the quorum.
Except at my house.
That's appropriate.
do you have it, or do you want me to go get it?
I don't have the bylaws handy. No, sorry.
What do you need the bylaws? for?
Not the bylaws, I need Nelson Baker's number.
Oh, I'll go out.
No, I'll go to the office and
We
get
don't,
it.
we can table the minutes.
Yeah,
We
from
don't-
what I understand, he usually goes on vacation during the carnival.
Nelson Baker. Got it? No, I just haven't.
We don't have to vote on anything. We can table the minutes.
I just want to see if I can walk it for.
And how fast?
You've done pretty good so far.
Beat your last.
If you want to
Push past it.
go ahead and get the meeting started.
I got Nelson Ford, whoever that is. Who's Nelson Ford?
Do we have a quorum?
Well, we
Nelson
not to
Baker.
vote on
I
anything.
don't know. Nelson Baker.
You
I
got
got
me,
Nelson
though. I don't
Ford in
know,
my
I
phone.
have no idea.
We just won't vote on the minutes until we
I
get.
think that's the only thing that we really needed to vote on, so that can,
Okay.
Ford's brother.
Probably.
you might want to delete that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
6:01, call the meeting to order, and I guess we'll do the attendance from the left. All right.
Sure. Tony Nally.
Lauren Norris,
Terry Davis.
Greg Gunsberry.
can we just review the minutes, or do we just skip it? All right, well,
You could do a general consensus to approve them, and then we can formally approve them next month.
yeah, because we got,
2 of them already.
yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
So, all right, for the review and approval of the minutes presented, anybody have any questions or comments?
No, Yvette made all the corrections that we talked about from the previous month, and I didn't see anything with this one.
So for the March and the April minutes, we don't have any corrections or comments for either one. And we will do the approval.
Or you can find out if there's a consensus among the members that are here.
That's Terry now.
Yeah, I guess.
So,
Go ahead, you want to go first?
I'm good.
okay, then I don't think, I mean, we can't, we gotta
You can't make a motion.
You can't
We can't make a motion to accept.
We'll just-
it.
delay.
We were wondering.
Table.
You come
We're gonna
in
table
to
the other side.
Utilities meeting.
for both March and April, we'll table them for next month.
Hurry.
Our treasury report.
That we can do.
All right.
All right, so the water fund at the end of April had an ending balance of $471,963.04. We received $486,206.81 in water, sewer, sanitation collections, and water collections was $178,486.58. Sewer collections was $269,052.96, and sanitation collection was $38,667.24. We did pay WRA $2,791.16 for continued work at the Crestview bypass. We paid Fidelity Power System $13,804 for the annual generator contract, and we earned interest for the month of $520.54. The water fund user restricted account had an ending balance of $1,666,862.96. We transferred in $42,200 from Richmond Homes for tap fees paid, and we've earned interest for the month of $3,934.41. The American Rescue Plan fund had an ending balance of $604,216.30. We did pay WHRI $31,160 for pay app 13. We paid WRA $777.63 for reservoir work. We paid Arrow Consulting $11,608.76 for professional services at the reservoir. We had interest earned for the month, $1,737.24. The sewer fund had an ending balance of $100,329.23. We received 2 settlement checks for PFAS, totaling $32,330.69. And we transferred $83,000 from the sewer fund over to the water user fee account. This is sitting on the books that you all probably don't know anything about it since 2018, and it's a payment that was owed back to the water fund, so we cleaned that up off the balance sheet. Also had interest earned for the month, $658.48. The sewer fund restricted account had an ending balance of $426,445.65. Richmond Homes paid a tap fee for the sewer for $15,500, and we earned interest for the month, $1,023.36. That's it.
$83,000, and then was that when the water fund paid the payments for the sewer plant? Okay.
It's been sitting on
That I did know about.
Yeah, that number sticks out to a lot of people that are familiar with it, 83,000, yeah.
Yeah,
And for some reason, it just got hung up on the balance sheet. Nobody did anything about it, so we finally decided.
probably drove the auditor crazy.
They kept bringing it up.
So, anyway, that's everything.
All right, anybody else have any questions or concerns about the treasury? All right, we'll table that until next
Yeah, we
month.
can't vote on approval until later.
Nelson's on his way.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
and it doesn't look like we have anybody for public comment,
Not.
so. Did you see how long?
He thought the meeting was at 6:30. He said he'd be right in.
Okay. You want to, do the reservoir?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, reservoir update, the big thing we're waiting for up there is power, permanent power. And that's gonna be in next week. So we paid that. We had an issue with the foundation inspections. HRI took care of that. They've got the electrical inspection, and I talked to Tony Edison earlier this week, and they actually have a date scheduled for service. Once service goes in up with the reservoir, then we can start equipment startup, so we can start that entire process. We just couldn't do that until we had permanent power. So we want to get the permanent power, and then they'll start bringing in specific contractors for the specific pieces of equipment. They do a startup. If you don't know what a startup is, that's when they fire up the electrical equipment for the first time, make sure it's programmed properly, talk to the operators, understand what they want the limits all set at, and it usually takes a been a couple of hours, because they're going through new systems and stuff like that. So that'll be something that'll be scheduled with the operators up there. That's gonna be happening over the next month or so. So that's where we are with the reservoir. Once we get the reservoir and all the equipment's working and every thumbs up and everybody's ready, then we're gonna wanna start filling that reservoir. Get that reservoir full and actually make the switch. Once the switch is made, gotta wait for Crestview to get done. Because of the pressure issue, right? Can't be pumping all that pressure into Crestview. So as soon as they get done there, we can fill the tank. Once we can fill the tank and it operates and we go through everything, remember what we said we were gonna do? We're gonna keep both tanks. And we make sure the new one's working the way it's supposed to. And once we decide that is the case, we take the old reservoir offline. And then the next month or two, they're gonna spend filling in the old reservoir. It all gets laid level and graded all up to the side. So that's where we are.
She said electric by the end of the week.
Will Potomac Street handle that until we do something about that?
Yes, I'll get into that in just,
Okay.
unless anybody has any more questions on the reservoir, I'll get right into that.
Is it got cathodic protection in it or no?
Yes.
Oh, it does.
Any questions on the reservoir? So, moving to the Potomac Street. Okay, so we know we have the bottleneck. What we're planning on doing is we've worked out with Mid-Atlantic contractors to have them use a highly rated pipe pressure for the temporary water line. So that we can go ahead and fill the reservoir through the temporary water line, and it's not gonna be a problem. What did he tell you, Greg? It was 300 PSI rating? We ain't going nowhere near 300 PSI.
Yeah, he said he'd sandbag it to keep it from snaking going up the sidewalk.
And we're gonna test that. And Greg had some great ideas this morning. So one of the things that we'll do is what we set up and what they're going to do. Hold up an image here so you can kind of see. So if we look at this image here, this is what you're replacing. Okay? They have to put temporary water up. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna do it in phases. They're gonna do a temporary water area like this, like from here. And they're gonna do a temporary water area from here, put the new water line in, and they're gonna do the same thing up there. They're anticipating 2 to 3 phases. They wanna lay out the first set, see how it goes. Make sure it works okay. The contractor is putting out notices for all the residents there. And just so you can see, I just want to give you an idea. It's a great notice. Good contractors. This is the kind of stuff I love because it makes the life for those of us in public works, we don't have to do all this. So this talks about the Potomac Street water line, what's happening, what does it mean, why are we doing it, and what are the emergency contact numbers.
So Rachel sent out, that was absolutely.
And this was great. This is a temporary water line back to, what is it, F&A? Questions, what does it mean? Can you drink the water? Can you not drink the water? I've notified I stopped by the ambulance company, the fire department, the police department to make them aware of what's going on out there so that they're aware of it. Greg, Pete, and Rachel and I all met this morning to make sure everything's coordinated, so it's the same information to everybody. The reason a lot of attention is being paid to this more so than some of our other projects is going to affect 60 residents, 60 households. We need to all make sure we understand what the plan is, we have backup plans if things happen, et cetera, like that. So I just wanted to kind of let you know that's what we're doing. So to answer your question, Terry, the line that's going to be used for the temporary, it's going to be bigger than the 4-inch, and it's going to be able to handle more pressure. Okay, so it's not, them doing that project is not going to have a negative impact on us being able to fill that tank and do that. So now that puts the owners back on HRI because we can't do the reservoir until they get that one done. Now they were flying. They flew in the first week. I mean, they went from the other side of Crestview. They went all the way, almost down to, what is that, Chestnut?
Chestnut.
Where they hit rock. I mean, moving very fast. They slowed way down. They literally went from putting in almost, what are they putting in? Greg, almost 60 feet a day.
Wow.
I mean, they came right across Crestview. I mean, they were just marching down. They are gonna be done in a month. I don't think they got 3 sticks in today.
Yeah, they put 2 sticks in. When I left 2:30, it was 2 sticks. There were still people around.
We knew this. This is not a surprise. We all knew it, but we were told by HRI, a progress meeting, that he's gonna have that line into the month. I kind of looked at each other going, okay, say so. So that's kind of
Where you got started.
Yeah, right there. So can that give
How
you?
about Mid-Atlantic? What's the time frame for them?
They put in the notice here, they said to the end of the year. I think they just put that up there as a big thing. When I talked to Justin specifically, depending how things go and how weather is, he's thinking early fall. Done. Asphalt, everything. In my world, I care more than the asphalt. I care that the water line's in and it's tested and it's functioning. The asphalt can come when the asphalt comes. I mean, I'm not that worried about it.
No rock for him. Put it right back as soon as possible. Yeah.
He's gonna put it, it's exactly what he's gonna do. So that,
Make sure he takes out the old.
You got a bigger hole to put, what was it, 12-inch line?
Yeah.
Or 4-inch was?
so that project, they're gonna start, January or June. They already have 1 or 2 pieces of equipment here. Greg's giving them a staging area. We're pretty much talking to them every day.
Get him down there today, moving them Jersey walls.
They're thinking about, they're on it. I mean, these guys are definitely
They're
on
quick.
it. And they will not be here any longer than they have to. And they're very good. Like, for example, when we talked about the emergency services and stuff like that, what we worked out ourselves is that locally, Greg and his department will know exactly what's going on with all the temporary water. In case something were to happen and it blew apart, our public works department can at least shut it down until Mid-Atlantic can get there. Because Mid-Atlantic has been open and said, hey, it's 35 minutes for us to get here. So we want you guys tied into this so that if something happens while we're not here, while we're getting here, you can shut the water down or do whatever might be necessary.
Every time, to verify that, every time I was down in Rockville and I had an emergency, their number worked and the guy was there in 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'm 6 minutes.
So that's where we are with Potomac Street, which kind of runs right into the Crestview water line. Just kind of said, they're out there, they're working, you can see them, they're hitting rock. Like, the DRV vaults have not been installed yet, but they're there. They're on site, they're there every day. They're there 4 days a week. They do 440s. So you'll never see them working on Friday.
It's just that they anticipated being done sooner and should have started.
God bless you.
Correct. And what has happened, which has not a thing to do with us, but we're caught in the middle of it, the company HRI was sold to another company in the middle of all this and is ongoing right now. So there's been staffing changes. They're having issues with their software for proprietary rights between these. We can't get an updated project schedule because they can't get access to the software because of this licensing merger or something. So it's really kind of a fiasco administratively out there. They're putting it in. The crews are good. I'm not a big fan of Vic, but the fact of the matter is the guys that are out there working, doing the job, they know what to do. They didn't, I forgot the name, a French company owned them before and now.
A local company out of PA, some big company out of PA, it's local. He told me the name, I can't remember what he said.
Where are they out of, Big Shot?
Belt or something like that, Eric?
Oh, they're out of State College.
Belt, that big company.
Oh, Bell, I don't know. Anybody have any questions on the reservoir, Potomac Street water line, or Crestview?
Roll ready to water and sewer?
Roll right into the water and sewer. Okay, big question. You guys gave me the answers I needed at our last meeting. We talked about assumptions, et cetera. You gave me all of that, so I wanted to show you what that looks like and also to ask a question. So this is one of the things we talked about. We talked about how do we count? Said maximum water production We have this number, 519. Primary water source out of service. Remember, we had that discussion back and forth. What are we gonna take out? You all said, it's in the minutes, take out Schaefer Well. That's Schaefer Well. That's what you're left. 372,000. 5-year system average, 410. This number will change from year to year. This is where your loss comes in. If you find loss, this number gets better. Okay? Future demand, BMUC specifically said approved site plans only. That's 32,000, 70,000 gallons in the hole. You have, that's the equivalent of 283 EDUs. Now, nothing wrong with Schaefer Well. Take that number out, you know what happens. But this is what you wanted to see. Okay. My question to the BMUC is this. Was it your intention when we talked about this process that each year, I do know that each year you wanted this capacity calculation done and presented to the BMUC? Do you want that a standalone report to which you all will review and then give a recommendation to the planning commission on what they should be doing for final plats? Or do you want this report to contain your recommendations? It's a procedural thing. It doesn't, I just try to say, do you just want a flat out report that tells you what capacities are? And you all create, in your meeting, you discuss that, and then you decide what you're going to recommend to the planning commission. We recommend you do not issue any site plans for the next until capacities reach X. Or you can issue site plans if a new well property, you see what I'm saying? Because in every report where you're given a set of criteria, it's for your information, for you to decide and give direction to the planning commission. That's why we kind of set this process up that you all wanted. You wanted that count on a regular basis, so you knew where your capacity was, and that you could inform the planning commission of how many caps are available for things that they're approving. So my question is, I can put together this report that will have this base information of capacities. That can be a staff report that goes to the BMUC and you accept it each year. And then you all review it as a committee and send a formal recommendation to the planning commission. Or we incorporate into the report, here are the results, here are our recommendations. And I just pulled up the sewer just so that we have the sewer. We haven't looked at the sewer in a long time because we all got that. Sewer, you've got 920 EDUs available.
You said it would be an annual report.
Annual report.
Wouldn't there be a problem if you build in recommendations? Most things change.
They do. They do.
Well, if somebody don't heed our recommendations, we can shut it down right here.
You can, but the appropriate thing to do is to make sure that you reviewed it, which you did, you have the information, you discussed it, and you sent a recommendation.
And if they don't heed by the recommendation,
They have,
then we'll.
they have to. They have to. And the reason is because this commission is responsible for determining capacities. If you tell your planning commission, it doesn't work then, it doesn't work. I mean, you're to advise the planning commission. It's not their job to worry about capacity. They come, remember we do the site plan all the way to the end, and we say, hey, we need these many taps. Are they available? If they're not, it would stop right in the process right there.
Because that's in place now.
That's in place, correct.
But it was not.
Was not. It was at this commission's specific request because there was lots of concern that the numbers were all over the place and we were never keeping a good accounting of all of the numbers. So what we talked about is that once a year, at the end of the calendar year, take the reports because we'll get a new year of data, right? So we get to add that to that 5-year average and have that information prepared the same way every year. My only question is, do you want that a standalone report that just says, here's what the capacities are as of December 31st, 2025. And then you take that and do something with it? Or do you want it to have recommendations in?
I think it has to have recommendations in it. I mean, you gotta have a plan B.
I
mean,
I would think you would want to have something in there,
I
but
wouldn't
that,
run my household on just a recommendation, I'd run on plan B so that if something happens, you can be prepared to make another decision. There's gonna be a lot of things that's gonna happen. The new reservoir is coming online this year. The water loss number is gonna be a huge development. It better be a positive development.
Right.
Or I'm leaving town. So, but I'm just saying, there's gonna be too many variables, but you can't just have a standalone report, in my opinion. This is just my opinion.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we need the recommendations go into it too. We could have a report, and then, like, this is where we're headed, you know, like I said, with the reservoir, we gained EDUs because our loss went down. So, you know, that can be built right in. So everybody is kind of transparent for planning. Why are you coming up with that decision?
it's very clear that if you don't take out the primary source of water, you actually have EDUs to issue. In your recommendations, identifying things that would cut that loss that are likely in a short term could give you the comfort to say, hey, it's okay to approve site plans, but don't go above this number. I don't know. Or you say, no, I don't know. That is the debate that has to happen up here. But you need to start thinking about, if you did this analysis and you didn't have a well that you owned, produce 260 gallons a minute.
It's not online.
Not online,
Doesn't really matter.
but if you didn't even have it,
Well, yeah, I know.
if you didn't even have it and you had nothing and you had no idea, you have to just start drilling wells. There's nothing in the short term. There's nothing known. If you know something and it makes the situation potentially better, meaning in this particular analysis, you have two things that are going to start happening that are going to change these numbers. One, the reservoir coming online, you stop the water loss. Based on the water losses we talked about, it's over 70,000 a day. So you would be back to even, okay?
Where the hell is it going?
I think it's going into this card geology that's all over the place here.
I think it's going.
Just like Crestview. I mean, well, it goes down there.
Well, Greg just had a sinkhole behind the Boy Scouts, didn't you? I mean, how much concrete did you dump in there?
It was 30 ton of rock. And put a bunch of plates on top of it. It swallowed the whole creek. I had 30-foot tape.
But the thing of it is, we cut our water loss, and we did want more capacity. We'd have to cut our water, make sure the water loss was down to below 15% before
Correct.
MDE would even consider it.
Correct. Correct. And the way that my thinking is get the new reservoir online and let's take that element out of it, and then we can find where the rest of the potential losses are. Because it's such a big variable, we don't know.
We've been looking for 10 years.
I know.
I think that at the moment, we're on hold with any approving of EDUs until the new reservoir is online, because what if you have a major concern? What if we lose one of these sources?
What if our water loss isn't as dramatic as we thought we would get?
If it ain't at the reservoir, we got a serious, serious problem.
I know.
So I'll prepare a final report that'll actually have all the numbers and an explanation. And then what I will put at the bottom of the report after I list these numbers, recommendations from the BMUC. And you all next month look and see, what do you recommend? Is it nothing until the new reservoir's on? Then let's say that, let's tell them. But you're gonna have to identify for both water and sewer. You're fine on the sewer side, but you're not okay on the water side. You gotta be okay on both.
Yeah, well, we got sewer. we're not getting-
Yeah, you can flush, there's only water to flush it with.
Yeah, you have to buy it once.
So y'all think about that. I mean, give it some thought. I mean, what do you want to do?
I think we ought to have a yearly report with recommendations.
Yeah, because if you don't offer them anything, then you're gonna get pushback. They're gonna go, why? Where did you come up with this number or reason? Or what's your explanation for
And this is gonna be a critical year, because like you said, the reservoir's gonna come on, we're gonna find out if we did find our water loss,
Or some.
or at least most of it. We get down below 15%, we're good.
Okay, so I'll make it a formal report that'll just have like a title page, a very quick executive summary. Some summary like this, it's easy to see, easy to follow, and then behind it put pages of all the spreadsheets, the calculations for 5 years worth of water, 5 years worth of sewer, so that everybody that wants to go check those numbers and want to know where they came from. And let's just be clear, these numbers are not Drew Bowman's numbers. These come directly from WRA. The only numbers I've changed in here in any way, shape, or form is when you told me only count site plans.
So at the end of the report, then it would say something like the BMUC recommends that we get X, Y, Z number of taps in this year.
You can have a bullet item. Taps can be released when X happens. Taps could be released when X happens. Taps can be released if this happens. Or no taps whatsoever for something else happens. I mean, you just don't know. But the idea is that every year at the end of, and it's easy to do in the sense that Pete does all kinds of end of year reports for the work. He has to, it's by law, okay? So we get all the data. And it's very easy just to drop one more year into the analysis and see where it moves that average. But as you all know, if it's a 5-year average, it's gonna have to change really, really significantly, which would be great. Let's assume, just for the sake of argument, I just want everybody to understand that if we put that reservoir online and our loss goes to 2%, and it was all the reservoir, as great as those numbers are, it's not going to move the average of the other 4 years by that much. So should you hold yourself to capacities based on this formula when you have knowledge of something that has changed that's substantial? These are the things that this commission is supposed to debate. That's why you have the expertise that you do on that lower tech. Is it reasonable? Your guys, what you're doing for the town, you're doing the risk assessment. That's really what you're doing. If you want to use the fancy terms and sound like we're all special and stuff, it's risk assessment. What risks should the town take? None? That's fine.
I think,
A whole ton of risk? Probably not a good idea.
but there has to be some risk for build risk for reward thing. You know, you can't say no to everything, but you be selective with what you're saying no to. I mean,
We can if the spigots go dry.
well,
So I think we're moving closer to having a plan and an action, accountability, and, you know.
You have set up the skeleton, and now you are putting the pieces in that are going to keep it reoccurring. It's going to be y'all's job as a commission, when I die and leave and retire and everything, that you continue that yearly, make it just part of the process. So much so that whoever comes into these roles, in any of these roles, oh shit, it's time to do that report again. You know, do the report, give it to so that you guys would get the report in January. You would have your recommendations every February to the planning commission.
That would be nice.
You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get this on the cycle.
So you're gonna do one for this year, because what we don't know is what we don't know.
This is 2025. I have not used any numbers from 2026. So this is the report for the year 2025.
26 will come.
It's gonna run from January to December instead of the
Calendar
budget year.
Calendar year. Because MDE does all of their calculations for their permits based on a calendar. They don't do it on a fiscal.
Well, plus two, once a reservoir goes online, I mean, Pete will be able to tell us within a month or two whether his plants are producing less water. We'll know fairly quick, it just won't be official. We'll have an educated guess.
We'll know pretty quickly. I guaranteed after the first quarter, you'll know. He'll be able to tell very quickly, daily. Because he'll figure out what the new cycle is on the pumps out there. And if the cycle goes down, guess what? Doesn't need as much water. Leak must not be there.
And we gotta take this in baby steps, because once we find out where our water loss is, then we can start making plans to put Fletcher's Grove online if we need it.
How important is the Fletcher's Grove well for development?
A lot.
Right, so after the reservoir goes in and we have some data, we start looking around, we're gonna find out very quickly, it's either gonna move up very high in the priority list, or it can sit a little further down and kind of let us finish the things that we
They've
got
been
going.
kicking that can down the road long enough, they need to do something with that well, or at least make a plan for it.
You wonderful gentleman sitting up here right now, I make those recommendations. That's called politics. That's the issue.
So
all I
you're
have.
right, I've got 2 questions. for you.
Yes, sir.
Guess I'm still allowed to ask questions, right?
Wait, we missed the public comment.
That's true. We should have that last. So first, you're right about that 4 or 5 year average. We kind of talked about that. We know we've done those numbers different ways. It's like those may dramatically change, which I agree with that. So you're talking about your annual report. And if I'm following along here, that annual report will show what's available to be used for the next year until we do the next report, right?
Yep, it'll have that EDUs available
Yeah.
at the end of each report.
Well, so I'm thinking this is good as we move forward, we'll learn more, but we may need that more frequently than annually.
We had talked about doing an update to the report every time a site plan or a major subdivision was filed. That's still in my head.
Yeah, because as you know, that's probably not gonna happen now, but for Don's original proposal, was 150 houses per year, not counting whatever else may happen. So if it was really gonna be 150 houses per year, plus something at Customer, plus something at Easter Day, we'd have to maybe know more up to date. We'll figure that out.
But that's still 5 years out, 5 years out where he's gonna be. I mean, we're gonna have better ideas of where we are within 6 months here.
Because other things happen too. And this was a phenomenon I experienced in my previous life. And what happened was, is we were holding 250 gallons of water per day per home, right, subdivision, right? Approve the subdivision gets built. Well, have low flow hydrant or low flow showers. They had the low flow toilets. These people were only using 170 gallons, so we ended up with capacity because they went from a number where we were reserving 250 a day, right, to what they're actually using, which was like 179. So we would gain because the new houses had water saving features.
And that's okay.
I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that you'll find different things like that will happen in the system. You're like, where the hell did that capacity?
But that's just another safeguard. Plan for 250, if you do less, that's all well and good. And you have water in the bank instead of money in the bank.
What's the actual figure on per EDU for the water usage per day?
I don't know what it is in Boonesboro. I don't know.
I didn't know if the state recommended something. Is it 250 a standard? Or is
Yeah,
it-
250
Yeah, that's the standard, that's why we use it.
Middletown's overall water usage was average between 175 and 185 gallons a day.
Ours is about 180.
Okay.
So in real life, but we figured 250 for.
And that's the right thing to do.
Uh-huh.
That's the right thing to do, because 250, there ain't a whole lot of people that use more than 250 gallons a day. Big families, yes, but not typically.
I did today. I filled.
I used to, my daughter
I
took
filled
40
No, I'm
minutes
gonna
shower.
take that. I
had teenagers, I remember.
Had to get a bigger hot water tank.
I used to get in the shower every morning to a cold shower because there's no hot water left.
No, there's a timer on hot water. They can shut
Did
off.
today, 'cause that's what it's doing.
250? 250
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Nope, I like it.
Good deal, Drew. All right, moving on. Greg, you had any comments?
I'm not sure where you guys left off for this last time, because I was fixing a leak during the meeting, but they installed that new antenna down at the shop so you can get all the benefits from those 20 meters. So far, they're doing pretty good. She called me about an acoustic noise up at 108 St. Paul Street. took my listener up, ended up finding a leak 2 houses up from it that didn't even have one of these meters.
Wow.
So I picked it up, and then she called me last Friday about a burst. What ended up being, like Tony said, the guy was filling his pool. So it was just a bunch of water going into it, and it alerted us for that. And it also alerted us for one year on Lakin that was no water usage. Ended up being, she got a hold of the guy, and the house was, he turned the water off inside the house. So for just having 20 of them in the system, they're doing,
That's great.
and they're cheaper. That's what we was talking about today. They're a lot cheaper than what we're paying for now, but I don't know her side of it. You have to talk to her about her side, but the field side of it is pretty good. I don't want Joe buying something that's going to mess up.
It doesn't mess me up.
Okay.
I mean, it's actually better now that we've got the communicator up. The collector is the antenna, and so they have the collector up, and it reads, was it 4 times a day? Is it 4 times a day? So we get readings for each house, each meter 4 times a day. So
So win-win so far.
Yeah,
So when do we have to make a decision, or when do you?
we still like 130 some days or something.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so we're not.
I think they're going to come into town in June, and they're going to show us all the bells and whistles with the software. So I think Greg's going to sit on that, and whoever else wants to sit in, I can email you guys the days if you guys want to see it.
So you had that acoustic technology in every single water meter in the town of Pittsburgh, and every.
Be up there screaming.
Now you have to hire another guy.
I
That'd
was
get
gonna
everything
say,
done.
we keep getting you all these gadgets, you don't have enough people to work.
That would be the problem. Somebody would be stuck doing that all the time.
Yeah, because just with 20 meters, so
Yeah.
we've had like 3 alerts, 3 or 4, no, actually more than that, because you had some before that.
Yes,
So,
but
yeah.
it was just like people.
So-
But you'll start to learn to know some of the nuances, like,
The ones with the pools, yeah. 'Cause
Right.
when she said it first, I'm like,
But
shit.
you just
somebody's
have to
busted.
check them though anyways, because you're not sure.
Right.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know, so.
Well, I know everybody might disagree, but I said it before and I'll say it again. Can't keep growing the town and not growing the people that takes care of the town.
that's an equation needs to be factored in yet, Terry, but you're exactly right. There has to be a breaking point on how many houses get built, how many come onto the system before public works. I get it. Yeah.
I mean, you got more plowing, you got more this, more that.
They're
And
doing
you're doing it with the same amount of people as you did 15 years ago.
It's called insanity, you're right.
Now, what's the idea, I mean, like if we go with the new program and the new meters, are you gonna replace like so many a year?
Right now, we're doing like 25,000 a year, $25,000 for it.
Okay, what's that give you?
It just depends. They range from 350 to 425 around there. So it just depends. They're always going up and down. She'll give me a list of all the old meters,
Right.
and I'll go out and just knock them out. Ones that don't work or ones that are like the oldest in the system. We try to keep them under 20 years old.
So it would be like 5 years, you'd be hopefully switched completely over to.
If you could get a grant, you could probably do
Have
it
a
in
grant
5
for
years.
125,000, it's just still in progress.
Yeah.
Plus you have to remember, you're not just replacing meters, you've got to buy the collectors, the antennas.
Yeah.
You have to have 2 of those, so they're
Okay.
quite salty.
Yeah, I think he said one at the reservoir. Where was the other one? The ambulance company?
I think that's weird.
That sounds about right.
Or maybe it was the fire company.
Fire company,
The
maybe. Yeah.
fire department's
Yeah,
antenna.
that one thing about park is just temporary. It's just a go around
Yeah,
unit.
that's
that they-
So Greg, a dumb question for you, your no usage, one could have been a faulty meter
Correct.
where water was being used but was not registered.
That's why I followed up with the customer.
That's what
so-
I'm looking for, right?
And these things will pick up 0.03. That is insane. Like you can turn on your spigot right now at your house and let it drip. Well, a lot of the old timers do that to keep the pipes from freezing.
Right.
My grandmother does it. And that Neptune meter will not turn. It will not move.
So that's water that we didn't get paid
Loss.
for.
Yeah, that was
So,
one of those sales
yeah.
pitches.
That's part of our water law. So
Yeah. Well,
it all adds up.
All right, Rachel. Kicking one way by, Rachel.
Your question, Eric?
Can you belong to 2 commissions at once?
Yes,
Yes.
Laura Schnackenberg is the chair of the park board and the vice chair of the environmental commission.
Yes, you'll be busy, don't worry about it.
I'd say you be in the water and sewer and plant.
Double duty.
Does he get
State
$50 a
was.
month then, or is he still?
Only 25.
Okay, put a cap on that.
He'll just buy more ice cream. But it's-
That'd be almost as much as you make them lose.
Close.
It'd be half.
Well, enjoy, but enjoy.
Gary, that's why I asked if you
And
were really
half the
retired.
aggravation.
Yeah, get on the park.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Okay, here, where'd you say?
you might become a part-time code enforcer too.
Yeah.
I'm just-
Who?
It's,
Systematic work.
Oh, so-
it's on the website. I think I
What it
downloaded all of the.
Well, now I'm almost
Oh, okay,
there.
sorry.
Back to retirement.
I said,
Oh.
that's why I asked if you were really
It's-
retired, or if you
Well,
were
that
near
retirement-
retired.
Well, if somebody offers me $100,000 a year job, might consider it.
You guys are
Right.
done on the meters, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, so we had talked, I think the last couple meetings about potentially, implementing some wording to make it clear when the fixed fees would kick in and when payment was due for, the meter and, so this was the policy that you had passed out last time, I think. That it really just was a lot simpler to add wording to this. So this is what she has when somebody new comes on the system, she needs to provide the policies for when everything happens. So all I did was add to the first paragraph where water and sewer charges consist of the following, and it explains the fixed fees and everything. So I just added the part in yellow for new builds or new connections. The owner will be charged a quarterly fixed fee beginning in the next billing cycle, immediately following connection fee payment regardless of the build status. So I really was just looking for a consensus that accurately reflects what you guys had agreed on last time. Because there was a lot of back and forth. So are we good on this?
Do you need a motion or anything, or you just?
What?
You need a motion for?
Oh, we could go back to the minutes. By the way.
Yeah, I was gonna wait till the.
I think it would be nice to have on the record that you guys that you approved the revisions to it. So this would. oops, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, okay.
So this would be a vote for the BMUC utility billing policies and procedures.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve vision. The billing policy for fixed fees.
I'll second it.
A motion in a second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Here,
Thank you.
good job.
You excellent at done policy and said, hey, just add it here, it'll be a lot easier.
I have a question. On the billing process, if a person calls in and wants to split it into 3 equal payments, are they still assessed the 5% penalty?
No,
Okay. Because that was done probably 15 years ago, right when I came on
are you
the,
talking about like just your water bill, right?
huh?
You're talking just about your water bill?
Yeah,
If they call in and get on a payment plan, I do not charge them late fees. Because
Because
it's a
they're
good
actively-
faith, it's a good faith.
I mean, we
act to
never
pay
did
the
up until
bill.
15 years ago,
I'm sorry.
right when I came on the commission 15, 16 years ago. Mr. Chambers made this suggestion that we charge a 5% penalty. Okay, on it.
And if you don't arrange for a payment plan, yes, you are charged
Okay.
a late fee. Correct.
So they have to be, I think what she's trying to say is that they have to be proactive about this, Terry. So if
Yeah,
they can't wait until they're, it's like. your
I
credit card,
understand
right?
that.
It's like your
I'm
credit
just-
card. So, yeah.
I just have a problem. I mean, myself, I don't have a problem, but I have a problem with some people, with utility bills going up and stuff like that. When I was reading the thing, I was considering if they call in and say, I can't pay this month, but I can pay next month, that we don't charge them a 5% penalty.
And I do not.
Yeah.
You do
like
not.
said,
I put them on a payment plan and the system automatically marks their
Okay.
account that they're not
That's
assessed.
all I want, that's all I wanted to know because
Yep.
I just thought I'd added insult to injury with the electric bills and all that stuff going up. the
Now,
way it
there's
is.
nothing written in the policy about that. That's just something, I mean, there's nothing written that you have to waive it, but that's just something I do because I think it's a good faith.
We had
You know.
kind of considered it, I think that Colin was still here when we were talking about it, and we went back and found that you guys have had this discussion like at least once or twice in the past, and you kind of found that it was too hard to have a black and white policy on it because there's so many different situations. So we evaluated on a case by case basis.
So we leave it up to your best
I think it's
discretion.
up to me and you, bet.
Off the record, just go with it for the payment plan.
Well, I think that's what they're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
I mean, now, you bet has.
We don't
some
overly
concern,
complicate something
she'll
like
bring it
that.
to
Yeah.
Rachel, where if it's something that, she's not, that she's not comfortable doing, she's gonna ask
Right.
Rachel too, so. but-
She's the one that deals with the customers, so like when she wasn't here the other day and somebody came in to pay and asked about having this late fee waived, like I was messaging her, I'm like, how do you handle this? And she's like, well, I look at the payment history, and they do this all the time, or, so, and then Jesse ended up just telling them to come back. But she's the one who deals with them all the time, so she knows who's a repeat offender and.
Like if somebody's told everyone to constant.
And I do note their account if they ask too frequently, just if case I'm not, I'm not gonna be there forever, that there's a history of that particular customer, so.
Yeah, I mean, I only brought it up because, there's some hardship.
Oh, no, I understand completely, and I try to work with everyone, I really do.
We're still a small town, Terry.
I know.
Yeah, we're not big enough that we can't be nice to our residents like
No,
that.
and.
Well,
if
at
there-
the time it was put on, it was black and white, if they paid 30 days, 50% penalty.
Right.
I didn't vote for it, but, or 5% penalty.
Okay, so then still in line with the policy and procedure update, we had changed this last year where we put in the budget ordinance, this, final section 6, where we put the water and sewer connection fees in there so that they're documented in the budget ordinance every year. And so the council did approve, your recommendation for increasing water to 12,000, sewer to 18,000. So you'll see that wording is in there. And then I also took from the resolution that had been put in place 2 years ago that had the connection fees, instead of having to keep track of them in two places, that one is repealed. And so from now on, it'll just be in the budget ordinance each year what the connection fees are. But the wording that I was saying is that once the connection fees are paid, the owner will be charged just like in the policy procedure, so that it's in yet another place, just to make sure that developers or residents who are expanding, just so they know that this isn't something new, this is in, it was approved, it was a public hearing, just so that we're being as upfront about everything as possible.
Transparent.
Yes. And then the final one I wanted to show you was on the building permit application. We also added that effective July 1st, building permits will not be issued until the applicant or owner representative has paid all associated water and or sewer connection fees, meter costs, and zoning permit fees. So that was, I think, what you guys had said you wanted to do last time. So just checking that, okay, good. Like I said, there was a good bit of back and forth, and I just wanted to make sure that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, thinking we needed something in writing so that, it wasn't Greg riding by looking for stuff in the house that was in this start
There was a
charging.
gray area, now it's
Yeah.
black and white.
Well, there are 3 places now that all kind of bounce off of each other, saying this.
That way there's no gray area for somebody to dispute.
All right, I think that was it for that one. That was all that I had.
All right, anything else for old business? All right, can we go back and we will get a motion to approve the previous minutes and the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
That for both minutes
Yeah, but minutes, that's right.
and the
Did you
treasurer's
read them?
report?
Since you- Okay, all right. Because you don't need to vote.
All right,
No,
all in favor?
Uh,
Anybody opposed? Anybody opposed? Motion carried. And then, make motion to approve treasurer's report as presented.
I think they did the
I
motion.
thought we did it
for
together,
all
didn't
three.
we?
It was
Oh, okay.
the March
I
minutes,
thought it was
April
for the
minutes, and
minutes.
treasurer's report.
we're efficient.
Did you
There
get
were
that?
two birds with one
Because I-
stone.
So I'm just putting Chad and Terry for both motions,
Okay.
correctly for first and second.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Now,
Moving on to new business.
So I didn't intend for this to be like a conclusive discussion, but, I wanted you guys to be thinking about, it's been over a year since I asked what the BMUC's project priorities were. And, we've been working on some of the stuff that have been identified, I think it was last February. So the documents that I sent out, that I didn't print because it's a lot of pages, but if you would like a printed copy, we'll print it for you. Those are from the water and sewer models that WRA did in 2019, 2021, somewhere in there. Paul was here. So in it, you'll see that they had recommendations for what needed to happen and, when by 2020, so I guess it was 2020. So the order that those needed to happen. And some of those we've been addressing. Some of them, like Potomac Street, we found was much more urgent than WRA had anticipated. But Drew had suggested using those as maybe a starting point for you guys to see what the engineers had identified. And I know we're talking about potentially the Fletcher's Grove well. We are hoping to keep working on I&I. The grant that I had applied for over a year ago, they still have not announced the award. They changed their system, and I know that slowed things down, but it's getting ridiculous. But anyway, so I still don't know if we got money for that. But at the end of the fiscal year, I'm gonna ask the council to approve moving the $250,000 that we budgeted for that project, to move it to restricted funds. Since it looks like the fiscal year is gonna finish out without us starting it, then at least if we got the grant.
just like we did with the other one, so, yeah, that makes sense.
So those are some of the things that we've kind of been talking about, but I just want to get your all's feedback on what, now that we finally, we're not finishing projects, but they're all kind of, the big ones are in motion. And, not that we're having more time, but like everything's kind of stably going. I need to be applying for grants for the next projects that we need to do, because Paul set us up with a lot of money, but, those projects are all being done. So I want to know what needs done so that I can go after grants for those things. Am I making sense? I feel like we're-
Can you pull up the?
Yeah.
So we can scroll through some of that. I was looking at, it's looking like some of the sewer lines that need to be upgraded.
Go to the website, go to the town's website, I put them up there.
They were on there. If I need to.
We've been pretty much putting out fires this
Yeah,
year,
and that's
so.
what I'm saying, like, we're nowhere near finished things, but, I didn't know if you had them on the website or, if they were where I see.
Thank you.
It's Cabbage Field.
Where? Here?
What's he talking?
The background. But that's like a mix.
This is the water one.
It's like the sewer line.
Do you want the sewer?
I was concerned about with.
Tiger Way.
He would be happy to read.
It looked like some of the, was it the old section, some of the sewer lines were undersized.
It's right there.
We got a
Sewer
lot of
one's
the
right
iron,
there, too.
bad iron several years
Would
ago.
that be something that would be for the I&I grant or?
It was for, so this was the phase 3. Paul had done 2 phases, one of identifying the lines, one of, doing a bunch of the lines in town. I don't know if it was like half or 2/3. And then for this grant, I was going to finish cleaning them, but I don't think there was gonna be enough money for it. So finish, we still had to camera some.
Yes.
We still had to camera some, and then we had to line them, and then, was that it, or was
Yeah,
there?
we only had like half of the town.
But was that all that it was covering? Like
No,
I
the
said,
one
I
Drew just
applied
said
for-
Tiger Wave was in there.
Okay, I was just looking at the model and it had some of the lines were red. I mean,
Like WRA, we have since put that sewer sensor down inside there in Tiger Way. WRA, Andy has come down and reviewed it. He said somebody messed up somewhere and put the wrong number in somewhere because there is no signs of that line running backwards whatsoever. It don't even get above 2 inches of flow in there at any time, even when it's pouring down raining. And it's still out there today. It's still out there recording right now as we speak.
Well, I don't think, so it's a 50-50 match, so we budgeted 250,000 and applied for 250. And the county had recommended a 250 award, so it's just up to the funder. $500,000 is not gonna be enough to do all of it. So we're already not gonna be able to do everything we said we would on the grant, so we will have to scale back what needs done. So we can go in and evaluate if we find that.
That's the
something's a more
ARC.
pressing- yeah. So if something's a more pressing issue, like is what you're talking about more urgent than just,
I was just thinking it ought to prioritize anything that needs to be upsized because I mean, you know, if you
Yeah.
build more homes, you have more
that's a good point.
sewage and then nothing makes people complain about getting sewer in their basement.
Where's that at?
I was just looking on the model that.
There's a bunch of lines that are undersized.
And if we don't get the grant, we can use the 250 for whatever we want. So whatever you guys think is the biggest priority we can do first.
Well, we relined from, what, Canoe Circle down to AT&T.
All Dell Lane's been done almost.
Do you want to know which line to left? I can pull that up. Or does it not?
What would, you don't know what the dollar amount would be?
No, because first of all, I was working off of dollars from
Yeah.
quite a few years ago, and
Like I was seeing, like the Dell Lane section, out here is red. Pretty much. Looks like.
We did some back in Landfill Circle. We did from AT&T to down to Park.
Park Drive. Looks like you got some red in there.
Yeah, that's all been done. It's all been straightened out, taken out.
It was
Oh, okay.
what we took out was, or what we did was the worst of the worst.
yes, I think it was Brian.
Brian,
Brian Hopkins had it.
he should have
He had it-
videos
he
on
had it
everything.
prioritized. I found some videos. I don't think I found all the videos, but I mean, back then maybe he had it. Didn't you say he kept?
I
some
lost
on a camera
contact
or
with him, so
something?
I don't.
Well, but if he had it like on a camera somewhere on the second floor, that's good luck finding. Okay.
I think he had it on the computer, didn't he, Eric?
He had files.
The camera of the sewer pipe.
It's Huntsbury Camera.
Yeah.
Huntsbury Motors one that did the work.
Well, maybe I did find them all. I mean, maybe I just don't know what I'm looking at. I found some. I just didn't think that it was all the videos.
We took the money that we had and took the worst of the worst, and that's what we did.
And I highlighted the sewer map when they did that. And I
Yes.
told her which lines where they were.
Yeah,
I highlighted every single line that was that they line.
These are the lines that you told me.
And that's how I did. Unless they did some when I was sleeping. I saw them all being done.
No, there's only one family that does stuff on that. It's called,
Wow, brought that out. All right.
well, they're always.
We did something with that, the manhole back at Delaware Lane
Yeah,
too.
we lined a bunch of manholes. We sprayed a bunch of them because they were brick.
But then you still have all these left.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I wasn't trying to derail it. And again, I don't expect you guys to make decisions tonight, just I wanted you to be thinking about it. I wanted to at least start the discussion and see if there's anything that maybe I have been sleeping in meetings and haven't heard you say that this is a dire emergency.
Where do all them manholes come from? Did I give them to you?
These are what you gave me last
Okay.
September.
Just making sure.
What about, I don't see anything here for like the plant. Have anything that, like, put in another filter or anything process the plant that we could possibly budget for, or would be a priority?
There is something, and please pardon my ignorance, there's something that Pete said that we need to see if we can budget for next year, that's gonna be 50 or 60,000. It's on my whiteboard,
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
I got concerned about the second one, good. Whether MDE's gonna come down someday and say, it's going.
He, whoever the guy is that Pete always deals with, Nazi or Ozzy, whatever his name is.
I mean, that's what that big pile of dirt's out there for, is to
He
fill it.
has assured Pete that that is so not a priority and not to worry about it, so,
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the second one, good.
They even use the lagoon anymore? Because I thought it discharges through that wetland.
I think he plans on it as a backup if he needs
He
to.
can have, he has permission to use it when he needs to.
Oh,
And we
okay.
got quotes from Synagro to do it, to decommission it, and they were just absolutely outrageous, so. It's not.
I thought Pete said at one time that when he was in a low flow, he was taking some of it out.
He uses it as a flow equalization tank when he gets big rain events. Then he pumps it back into the system.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Fishing
When
rodeo
I
out
said it's a
there.
backup,
For a second
that's what
part.
I meant.
What's that?
Fishing
Well, I
rodeo.
I guess that's maybe why he didn't make it priority
Maybe.
to close that one.
Or maybe just the fact that they are so far behind on so many things that it's like small fish right now.
That's minimal.
So do we have that list anywhere that you have there? I'm not seeing that on any of the documents. that you
No, I pulled this out of the grant application.
Can you send that? Yeah, just, maybe we can start looking at this and try to come up with a plan of priorities then, is that sound right?
Is I mean, I know that we still have to address it, but is it a little bit less of an issue now that you're using the back sewer back flusher thing?
That don't help anything. Like the clean line stop backups, that don't help with down at all.
What we was finding mostly was pipe that was cracked, stuff like that, that was allowing inflow, or we just relined it, well, where it was cracked, so.
I didn't know if maybe, like, if it's a situation where there's tree roots coming in, but if you clean it, then at least the only blockage is the tree roots, not whatever else is built
Well,
up.
cleaning it could make it worse if it's cracked.
So what you did so far has helped. He used to be over 1 million gallons whenever we get like an inch of rain. And then we lined all them lines that I sent to you, and it's helped out tremendously. You don't go up over 1 million anymore, or even close. So we knocked out, like he said, we knocked out the worst parts in town with the camera, Get it,
When we did this
when we did it,
years ago.
yep. They'd come in when it was raining, Huntsbury Road, come in when it was raining, and Brian went around and videoed everything while it was pouring down rain.
We did McKelvin Drive too,
I can't remember.
somewhere down the park.
We did a couple spots out Kinsey Heights.
Yeah, they went down through the park, but I don't know if they didn't kill them.
Yeah.
But they went straight down the alley or whatever.
There was one spot down there that they found it pretty good infiltration.
That big line down through the back of the park.
Yeah, they took all them bends out of it, made it straight.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was actually in the truck with the guy. I was watching through that. That was pretty cool.
I mean, I don't have anything else for the discussion. You guys don't.
But Lauren, you was talking about undersize real quick, so just so you know, where he just did all the new lines that he's talking about down through the park, down to the football field. Both parts of town come into one manhole. So you got two 12-inch lines dumping into one 12-inch line that tries to get out to get down to the sewer plant. Whenever it rains hard, it fills the whole manhole up, and sometimes it will overflow out into the grass. The creek's right there.
Okay.
So that is definitely undersized.
I mean, that's the
Used
kind
to
of
do
things,
that.
that just need to keep on our radar.
Yeah, we watch, every time it rains hard, somebody's there looking down at it.
Used to do that down at the bottom of the hill when you go straight back down, before you turn right in, down there at the bottom of the hill. I guess we wait and see if we get the money, one.
Well, either way, we can do some of it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, this is just I. If you guys think that something else is a bigger priority, I just want you to tell me what I need to be applying for grants for. So that when we are finally done, the multitude of projects we're working on now, we have money to do the next thing.
I think that, we need to have this discussion. Pete,
He had surgery, if you didn't know. He's not playing hooky, he had surgery.
He
I
has
know,
some ways.
I know.
So what do you think?
He might just bite his work.
What?
No.
Do you have Susie's phone number? Because I need that.
What about on the water side, or anything that you need to?
I guess, I mean, that's part of our waiting game to see if the reservoir is our biggest problem, and if we find it's not, then we better figure out where the leaks are really fast before all the government agencies that gave us money come after us.
Don't forget about the Lead and Copper Act. She can use Potomac Street as part of that, so that will help us out some because it has lead joints.
And
You got that lead and copper, you got 10 years to start replacing pipe and have a plan for it.
I did see,
How much?
Yeah, you should be able to apply that as.
Yep.
I saw something about grant funding, for that. I need to look at that again. So there might be an option out there that I can start pursuing that, but you're right, we are on a limited time frame for doing that. These are the ones that were done in phase 2.
Nothing on Main Street, right?
South Main.
What about the new well as far as security? Notifications, cameras,
On the Schaefer Park well,
the new,
Electric
Reservoir.
the reservoir.
Okay.
That are-
Did we ever
I
come to
think
any
we-
conclusions on that?
I think that was included in some for the police department where they were putting cameras at all different locations.
Didn't we make a motion here in the BMUC to do all the cameras, all facilities?
We did, but the money wasn't available for all facilities, because we're talking about putting a trail cam down at well 8, right?
that was the only place that did not have camera. I'm pretty sure ASP.
Sewer plant got one. I saw them installing it out there.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it gets one.
The
No,
reservoir.
reservoir does get it.
Yeah, with the new construction, I thought they had the security cameras.
That was an added feature, right?
But it also will have a,
Is there gonna be fencing around it?
yes,
Yes.
and there's already new fencing at the wastewater treatment plant. With that.
That's been completed, new gate, new fencing.
There's all the stuff got done, phase 2, Terry, was asking right there. Hear me? That's phase 2 right there. That's all the sewer lines that got lined.
We lined pretty good.
Yeah, we did a crap ton.
But am I correct in understanding, I think somebody told me that I&I is like never done.
No.
So
You never,
even
once
though
you,
these were done a few years ago, eventually we're gonna have to do them again.
yep, and you got people's service lines. It never stops.
Before we did that, we was in terrible shape. Before we did what you see on that list.
So if we did this in 2020, approximately when are we gonna need to do it again? Do these lines again?
Not in your time.
Ah, she's breathing.
But there's plenty of other stuff that needs done.
So a Cincy form says that's 100-year pipe, 100-year line. But then you still got the service lines coming into that same line that you just fixed, and they're all leaking water straight into the line that you just lined. That's the problem.
After you retire.
And then what about people with their cell phones?
Yep.
How many do we have of those?
What?
Some phones.
We don't know. We never went in their house. Brunswick did a thing where they went around, went in everybody's houses. They had to do this roof control to do it. They went around and did a survey, went into everybody's basements, checked out their
Are
house.
you talking about the smoke test?
We did do a smoke test. The only way that's gonna tell you is if they don't have a trap in their basement.
They have a check valve
They put a trap in, it's full of water, the smoke will go through it.
or a check valve on their sump pump.
That's why you take the pictures, you want the close up for your water line, further back, and then real far back, so you can see what's around. So-
Well, the trouble is, and I guess we have to control that through the building process, is they always put a drain in the basement of these houses, and then these plumbers come in and hook up a sump pump to them. It's mostly new houses. It's not your older houses. It's mostly your new houses. that's got the pit in them, and they hook the sump pumps up to.
That's a very good point.
I don't know.
What about, like, last meeting, you said you were gonna check, I guess, WRA about what it would take to do something with that well?
I might have.
Maybe that was Drew, I don't know, somebody had talked about possibly, yeah.
I think he was just talking about getting the right numbers for the Fletcher Grove well, as far as what the production is, but we weren't talking about numbers to connect yet.
Yeah, okay, because we're talking about possibly behind the ambulance company, a lot back there.
Yeah, right. We went out and talked to,
Kicking some things around, I mean, it'd be nice if we had an idea, or somebody could start the ball rolling.
Like sort of like a conceptual layout or something?
Yeah, or find out engineering, what would they recommend, you know? Do something with that well, where can we put it, where can we tie it in?
Didn't they talk about the well in the model?
Yep.
So it might already have a lot of good basis for the information.
Okay. I just-
I remember reading that they were going off of like what was reported to them as the capacity and everything, but they didn't have the test results in front of them.
Okay, because I know you sent out, or I think it was you, sent out results for,
Yeah, and WRA talked about it in that, the water, sewer model, water model back in 2020, so.
okay.
I don't know how much detail was in it, I just skimmed it, but they talked about what.
Nelson needs to talk Mr. Clements into a piece of ground for an ambulance company to.
Mr. Clemens is not talking.
Oh, really? Don't put that in
I
there.
should do
Is
that.
that good or bad?
I just told him after a month and a half that he needed to donate that section instead of the ambulance company buying it.
Yeah, there
I
you
didn't talk to him since,
Well,
but he hasn't come talk.
and then you could donate a piece of it for the town to put a water plant.
Well, I think that's exactly where it should be, but that's, you know, that's.
If you can't do it, Nelson, nobody can do it.
So it sounds like we can come up with a list of projects for Rachel,
Yes.
so that she knows what she's applying for.
I mean, I've got some places to start, I partly just wanted to make sure that there wasn't a giant priority that I was forgetting about.
Way back when Stu had a list, you know,
I have his list on the budget from the FY '26 budget. I had Stu's list, and then I had the list that you guys gave me last year. But priorities changed.
Well, we got the, lining per linear foot price close to when we knew, then we know how far we could go, what money we had. Correct?
When I got applied for it.
If
last
you got the
year,
grant from ARC,
Yeah, I would get a new quote for it. And
yeah. And if we could price what somebody would charge us per linear
Yeah.
foot for a lining.
we already had, Pleasance. Didn't they come in, did they
Yeah.
just come in and talk to us, or did they come?
They come in and
to
talk to us.
you
Who did the, do you remember who did, several years ago?
Sichiform.
Yeah.
guys?
That's right. Sichiform. They're a huge company out of Baltimore. It's all they do. So again, the Sichiform.
Yeah, I know, I wanna say bless you, like, I don't know.
Pleasant's another big one, but nobody can ever come close to Sichiform prices. They just kill people every time they come in. Nobody's even close to them.
They work for a long time. I mean, they're good. Ionize it's called the ghost in the machine. You just plan every 5 to 6 years to address the biggest sources. It is what it is. Or if you ignore it, after 10 or 15 years, you'll suddenly find out you have terrible problems when it rains, and then you gotta spend a ton of money. So the best way to think about it is just a recurring cost. Plan every 5 to 7 years, CIP, that you're just gonna have to do something.
A lot of our manholes are bricks, so you'll know they're not concrete structures like they are now. They were stacked back in the old days. So they come in and they put spray epoxy on and make them one solid. Stops all the water. You take these caulk guns and stick in the holes where the water is and squirt the stuff back in there. Swells up immediately, stops the water, and then they spray it.
Yeah, I know a bunch of, they relined a bunch of the lines a couple years ago, and then all the brick manholes are, it's like, holy crap, it looked like a waterfall.
Yeah.
Because the water was coming in, the manholes, bricks instead of the water line. All right, do you have any other new business? Sure, Eric.
No, I mean, Terry made a great comment about something we all think the plan commission do, like some pumps, two houses, I guarantee, I mean, one of them, you're right. I guarantee you put it right in the sewer.
When there is an ordinance, they're not supposed to. Now, if they're doing it,
They do.
Well, if we got access to the final,
The easy thing for me to do is I can just go walk into the basement of those houses that are all in Fletcher's Grove, due south. Just look, I can see if it's plumbed, see where it's going. If it's going outside or if it's tied into the sewer system.
do we have access to the final plumbing inspection? We don't. Whether or not it's there or not,
it's county, but we stop at the water meter.
But it's easy to go check when they're pouring the foundation. Because they lay all the sewer.
Oh, they're
out.
probably there. It's just, you don't know if they're gonna put a sump pump in later on.
I have to.
You're saying they're putting an actual pit. They have to put an
Yeah.
actual pit.
They do, or it's a round
I
pump.
mean, you're gonna know if you see an actual pit.
Yeah, and a discharge line to get rid of it.
Right.
But
So where they're discharging.
So Terry's saying a lot of people later on going to say, so if I'm not working for you guys and I know a little bit of plumbing and I put a sump pump in my basement, the reasonable thing for me to do is to tie it into the sewer system.
So I don't have to worry about running outside and.
Anybody that's just a little bit or can watch YouTube can figure out how to do it.
Oh, yeah. But what would be the reason for them to put a pit in a basement?
And if they get the lowest point in the basement where the corner is, and that's where they put their pit.
Right, but I'm saying, what would be the reason to do that other than,
To run a sump pump, but you're supposed to run it outside
right?
on a hose or something.
Nope.
Instead of not worrying about it and saying, oh, the sump pump's gonna get it, but then the sewer system.
You guys don't remember this, we lost a huge lawsuit years ago, Eric might remember this, at the other end of the road for the same thing. It was an old house built back in the 50s on Main Street, the sewer come up through the basement, up through their floor drain, and they got us plus wise, and we lost.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
For that exact same thing he's talking about.
Anything else? Ronnie?
If they do have one.
Yeah, you can walk into houses for the vault, ain't nobody's ever through.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not secure until they lock them up. So, all right, how about systems report? Do you wanna?
Yeah, I'll start on the water side real quick. So we've had a couple of water leaks here in the past 30 days. We've been able to use that new hydro excavator that you guys bought us. Man, how nice is that? Fast. We completely dug down to the main, fixed it. It was done in 3 hours. It usually takes 6 to 8 hours. We dug it with a 2 foot by 2 foot pit. So then we saved money in stone, we saved money in blacktop.
Labor.
Yeah, overtime for the guys. It was a little messy at the first couple inches, when you're blowing that stuff out. Drew stopped by when we was there. Of course, we broke it the first time we used it. One of the overhead blew that up, but we fixed it. I didn't tell you that. We fixed it. Everything's fixed. Just.
Could have left that part out, Graham, but it's
Yeah.
okay. I love your honesty.
If it breaks, that means you're using it.
That's right.
And there is so many valves on that thing. So the 2 guys that are on it right now are the 2 guys that are staying on it. And there's nobody else going to operate this thing. I go out and watch them every once in a while, make sure they're doing okay. But you have to know what you're doing. There's valves everywhere. You can turn one the wrong way and it can blow. What it did was blew an O-ring out on us. With the pressure built up a little bit, it overloaded, blew an O-ring out. We fixed it. It's good to go. Onto the sewer side, we've started a sewer flushing program. We've finished Kinsey Heights in, I'd say, 5 days. We're not going to be on it all summer long because we got public work stuff to do too. But every time we get a chance, like it's just missed and rain a little bit, them 2 guys will be out in town. You guys will see them. And the lines are very, very dirty. The sewer guys already said something about the smell that's coming down to the plant. It's just jet black. The color perfect Tony's shirt. It hasn't been done in 20 years.
How do the guys like?
They love it. Austin's lifting manholes up and Ryan's actually the one that's running the machine. If I just keep him on it, he's the only one turning levers and stuff. Everything else.
That machine is better than sliced bread.
Yeah, it's nice. It's gonna save the town a lot of money.
I don't know, I'd rather have sliced bread than just sewer.
So we start this program, and next year, of course, it'll be a lot faster and easier. The lines won't be as dirty. It'll go up. You'll be able to clean it faster and come back. And we were 500 and some feet the other day, but still pulling.
And the good thing about it is, because I was on one that was mounted on a truck. You could use it for storm drains, anything. It'll clean anything. You just jack the pressure up a little bit. You got a clogged storm drain. Hey, And then you could suck it out as you're bringing the storm drains or something, then you suck it right out into the,
Yeah, we can use this for MS4 too, we can do the storm thing like he's saying, but there's no way, I can't do that, plus the sewer and,
oh,
that's not with people,
no, man.
there's no way. Everything else is really good though.
In reality, somebody should be on that truck all year long.
I told Rachel I could lose 2 guys on that truck all year long and never see them again, doing sewer and storm.
All right, I think that wraps it up. We don't have Bobby here, but I guess, I'll make the motion that we.
Anybody heard from Bobby?
Yeah, he's alive. He had a colonoscopy today.
Oh, did he? Ugh,
Yeah, he sent an email, said he wasn't.
I got biopsy next Wednesday. Ain't work.
The colonoscopy's not the problem, it's the prep before it, that's the issue.
That's what the relining videos look like. Colonoscopy.
Yes.
That's exactly what.
It depends on what prep you have to do.
Uh,
And they keep changing it every time you go, so my last one wasn't bad.
What's that?
You
Anybody
remember,
want to second
the
that?
old days, you had a thing about that tall you had to drink, it was like, go.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Anybody opposed?
I bet. So they're keeping track. I gotta get that thing from you. They're keeping, right now, they got a journal in there and they're just keeping track of every single tank of water they use, because it all add up at the end.
What are we talking
The
about?
sewer flusher.
Oh, yeah.
So they got a journal, they're writing everything down. I told them you had a paper for it, that you were making. Remember you were doing something for me?
I gave you, what do you
What'd you give me?
The schedule?
No, you made me something with like, so I could document all the manholes, like which one they did, like which line and stuff. Remember you? Yeah. You did. You was asking me what I wanted on it. I said like the streets, the street name.
I gave it to you. It's in that book, sweetheart. I gave you a big
when
book.
I was.
Give it to me? What did I do with it?
It's in a beautiful binder. It's in a.
Did I take it from you?
Thank you.
Shit. I have to look at my
Are you
truck.
sure they don't have it? You sure you didn't?
No,
give
because
it
they
to
asked me something to give them. I gave them keep breaking it down.
them? No, this had all the streets in it and everything in a column where they would mark it. I just reprinted it out.
No,
It's no
don't,
big
let me
deal.
look. It might be in the back of my truck. So let's see. I got plans on the back of my seat all.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you got it. I finished it for you.
I was thinking you probably did something like that,
What?
but
Yeah.
about the.
Yeah.
I was against that from the start. And now that, I was gonna bring it up tonight when I looked at that, I was just saying, utility for, especially if people on fixed income, utilities is going up. They're paying twice what they did for a gallon of gas.
So if
And
they
that's
call
just-
in once they get the bill and they let me know that they want to spread it out, payments, I immediately put them on a payment plan. And then that knocks them out of the computer system.
Is
to
there
get
something?
All right, thank you, sir.
of their payment plan, that they're on a payment plan.
No, it's something that informs that it's available.
Yeah, it's on the, it's on the billing.
Okay.
It's on the billing,
That's-
absolutely.
That's all I want to know.
It's on the back of the bill.
Thank you.
I had a question. He was talking about the billing. Is it a pain in the ass when I pay extra in the first quarter?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because I figure, I know my
It stays on your account.
second and third quarter is generally higher, so I
You know-
generally.
No,
fill
it
more.
just sits there, Lord. It's not going to count.
Okay, well, I wasn't worried about that. I was just like, you're in there typing in, and it's like, this
Oh, no.
I got paid $300, it's only
When the
$200.
payment goes in and it puts the payment on your account and then the system balances your account.
Yeah, because I always
Gives you
get like
Yeah.
it shows a credit.
Credit.
But
Yep,
I'm
yep.
just-
As long as you know how to read it. Some people don't know how to read it.
Yeah,
They have credit.
my wife with the flowers in the pool.
Yeah.
I know the summer
I
months
gotcha. I
get
gotcha.
high, so I feel a little
I
extra.
gotcha.
All right.
I gotcha. Yeah, no issues there, buddy.
Have you talked to the commissioner?
Oh, yeah, and Howard's on he's on the board, and he's but I don't know.
They haven't distributed money.
I don't know if you heard me say that they switched from, they used to do all paper applications.
Uh-huh.
Well, we submitted our paper applications.
And they went to
then, like,
computer
a month
application.
later, They had the system and everybody had to upload everything into the system. So
Oh,
I had to apply a second time And, so I know that slowed them down. I learned,
All right, still.
so I know that was part of the issue, but, the last I heard, I know the county recommended us.
What's today? Today's Wednesday.
And the last
so
time somebody from
yesterday,
ARC
Tuesday,
talked to me,
the
they,
inmates were
they
supposed to come
thought
down
that
and
it
help
was-
unload.
so they didn't say you're definitely getting it,
The car,
they just were
the
like.
car
it
mates,
looks
the
safe.
trailers they have. They said
Who
it was
told
too
you
hot.
Paul did all this work?
You can't make this